Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and it's Women's History Month, and I'm here today to talk to you about Friends Till the End. This was a 1997 television movie that NBC created. Yes, NBC. See, back in the day, many networks, like local networks and stuff, the basic ones, used to create television movies and stuff. And for the most part, a lot of them created some really good ones. NBC in particular. I remember there was one with Tiffany Amber Thiessen that was extremely good. Of course, now they've stopped, and now most of the time, if you see a television movie, it's on like Lifetime or something like that. Or, you'll have like a low budget direct to DVD movie, which they don't really do that no more. But now you have these expensive direct to streaming movies that tend to suck. However, this movie does not suck. Back in the day, people used to know how to write. And they used to know how to direct and everything. So, this movie was directed by Jack Bender and it was co written by Kathleen Rowell and Grace Fellini. And this movie stars that of Jennifer Blank and also, so tragic, Shannen Doherty. May she rest in peace. Still tragic that she passed away when her cancer returned. And so I remember being like, a teen and everything in high school watching this movie. And it's a really good, like, written television movie. However, the third act is pretty rushed and everything. The movie is only 80 minutes. And of course, they didn't have a budget. The movie premise is extremely interesting and everything. Like, it's very intriguing that, the lengths this one girl would do just to be famous and get her revenge. Because this is a television movie and because it was on NBC and it was low budget, sadly, however, they couldn't fully like go there as much as I wanted them to. Yes, we do hear that this one girl has injured people, and yes, we brutally see her murder a man with a brick and everything. But they couldn't go any further than that. If it would have been like a theatrical movie, I would say this would be similar to like The Orphan. And I wish they could have went that level that The Orphan went. Or this one Tubi movie called Stepdaughter. Stepdaughter wasn't particularly that great. It needed some work, but it's on the vein of like, say, that movie and stuff. And for a television movie, this is pretty, like I said before, well written. It's very well acted and everything. I think at one point it did come out on VHS or maybe DVD. Of course, it's going to be completely out of print now. It's hard to find online. I don't think no streaming services has it. And there's another movie with a similar title, but that's called Friends to Death, and that came out in the 2000s. You can find multiple copies actually on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it's multiple people uploading the very same video. It's really lower quality, and yeah, sometimes it can be a little fuzzy to watch, but that's pretty much the only way you can watch it. And a lot of people back in the day really love this movie. Like, it is so well like acted. And this movie has a lot of famous people in it. Like, because back then I only knew of like three of the stars, well, two and a half. This one actress had literally a cameo in it, but I guess I knew three and a half. But this one actress only had like seriously just like a cameo and everything. And I'm so pissed she had like a cameo. So of course, like I said before, Jennifer Blank, Shannen Doherty, Jason London, John Livingston, Marcel Nicholas, what's her name? Jenna Lee Green. That's the one who has a cameo. That really pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Nicole Blenderback, Harry Lennox. Harry Lennox of all people, he just plays the professor who's like barely in there. I'll get that later. And some model lady named Shauna Monaker or something like that. And so, like, yeah, there was a lot of famous, like, up and coming people back then. And so this is like a thriller drama. And other than being very good, yeah, there are some downsides. Like I said before, I wish it could be more thrilling. I wish it could have been more aggressive with the one co-character and everything. Like I wish she was more brutal and everything, kind of like an orphan type thing. The third act is pretty rushed and it falls kind of flat. For the most part, this movie is actually pretty diverse when you kind of look at it and everything. But in actuality, this is the 90s, it is Hollywood, and the diverse characters barely have anything to do in here. And all the diverse characters are very like light skinned and everything. So of course the white characters are the main ones who do like everything in the movie. And so, like, this is 1997. This is Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, but there are, like, at least, four at the most I can think of, like, people of color and everything. But sadly, like I said before, they don't do much and stuff. They're just kind of there and like that's it. I guess they filled the quota and everything or the check mark list or whatever because they really don't have that much to do in like, the movie, sadly. Jenna Lee Green, she only has a cameo in this. I mean, like, come on now. Now, she is one of the people of color. I think she might be Jewish or something like that, but she literally has a cameo. That pissed me off because I'm a fan. She's like, in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Libby and everything. Like, come on, man. Like, Libby Gibbler. I mean, whatever her last name is. Like, they could have done more with her. Harry Lennox, he plays the professor. He probably only got like 1 minute of screen time and barely does anything because, he's black. Now, I remember this guy from Man of Steel. He was the general, and then he was like Martian Manhunter and the Snyder cut of Justice League. Nicole Blenderback, she plays a very mean sorority girl, and that's literally all she does, just be like mean. Because, she's Asian. And she's barely in the movie. She actually has a reputation for, like, being that one Asian character who pops in and out of, like, 90s and early 2000s, like, teen movies and stuff. She was in Bring It On and in Clueless. Marcel Nicholas, she plays Allison. She plays the best friend and roommate to Shannen Doherty character. And her character thought she got pregnant, but wasn't. Because, she's Latina. And then she just pops completely out of the movie after that. Now, I remember Marcel. She was in, what was that? Riverdale. She might have also been in the last season of Boy Meets World. I'm not sure about Scream 2, but she might have been that sorority girl as well. So Shannen Doherty plays Heather. Yes, this is probably a nod to the 1980s movie called Heathers, where she played a girl named Heather. Oh man, rest in peace. I missed her so much. She was in Charmed. She was in Beverly Hills 90210. She was in the pilot of Love Inc. And she did that after Charmed in like 2005. And it was on UPN, and she wanted to do it like a comedy because she wanted to show people that she could be funny and that she doesn't have the reputation of being the bad girl of Hollywood. Sadly, however, her role got recast after the pilot, and I think they placed Busy Phillips, I think, in her place. So that sucked and everything. I'm not sure how long that show lasts, but like, oh, it's so sad she's gone. But she plays a woman named Heather in college. She's in a sorority. The movie opens up with her winning this singing competition. And so while in college, she's like a popular girl. Everybody likes her. She's smart. She's friendly and everything. Everybody gets along with her, and she has a boyfriend. And she's also in a band where she's the lead singer. And then all of a sudden, there's this new nerdy girl who like befriends her, and they really kick it off as friends. But then this friend has some type of like shady behavior to her. All of a sudden, bad stuff starts happening to Heather. Like she's accused of cheating on like, an essay or like a paper she had to write. Her boyfriend ends up cheating on her. The band kicks her out and everything. And her best friend slash roommate is pissed at her because she's not spending much time, and she had that pregnancy scare that she think that Heather went and ran off the mouth to. And so she doesn't understand, like, and there's a bunch of other stuff that happens, and she's not understanding what's going on until she does some research into her new nerdy friend. And so this is when she does like a type of intervention type thing by going to the girl's mother home and, telling her what's been going on and to figure out more about her. Eventually, like things get pretty hectic between her and the nerdy girl. So the nerdy girl is played by Jennifer Blank, and I remember her. Well, I don't remember seeing her in Married with Children because there have been so many women in there that are so famous. But I remember her from Dark Angel. Like I think I saw this first, and then Dark Angel later that came out in 1999 or 2000, something like that. And so she plays a girl named Zan, and that's the fake name. Her real name is Susie. In the beginning of the movie, her mom is one of those overbearing moms who pressures the kids to do like these beauty pageant contests and just bugs the crap out of them. While singing, she forgets the lyrics to the song and she gets disqualified. She literally has like a temper tantrum and like a nervous breakdown, basically saying, like I haven't like finished yet, I haven't won yet. And of course, the other girl next to her who's supposed to perform is Heather. You'd think that would be it, but no. This girl literally, like, sought revenge on Heather. That's all she could think about. So it turns out, by her mom, that like she's always in these contests and she never wins, and like Susie always thinks that the winner is cheating. Then all of a sudden, one of the winners ended up with a broken leg. And it turned out to be Susie, but her mom does not believe it. So many years later, she literally tracks Heather down to this college, taking up the name Zan. There, she pretends to be like a nerdy girl, and she literally befriends that of Heather. She begs her to help her get into Heather's sorority, and there, it takes her a while to start making friends, and eventually she does. She changes her appearance to look more like a hot girl. She uses the opportunity to sing for Heather's band, and they're all like, wow, we can have two lead singers. But then this is where things get a bit dark. There's a guy that recognizes her, and that's when the creepy music comes, so you know something's going on. That ain't nice and stuff. He recognizes her, but she pretends not to be like Susie. But then he told her, I talked to your mom a month ago, and she lied and literally said her mom died. Then it's like, he's all like, look, I know what you did a long time ago, but I don't blame you. It's probably like a mistake, this and that. This dude literally keeps following her around and literally, he's literally like, oh, I just wanted to see more of you and blah, 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 blah. They end up making out only for her to get like pissed and not want him. But then when she was making out with him, she called him Nick. Nick is the name of Heather's boyfriend. So it's kind of like, whoa, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Eventually, when they start making out again, she assaults him and then she kills him with a brick. I'm like, holy crap, it's getting dark. And I'm like, keep getting dark with this movie. But it kind of doesn't because they have to, deal with censors and stuff. Basically, she keeps ruining that of Heather's life. The essay paper. She sleeps with Heather's boyfriend, and Heather walks in to see them two in bed, and it's a pretty intense love scene from NBC back in like the 90s. She causes Heather's best friend to be pissed at her and just all kinds of crap. And then she gets her kicked out of the band where she becomes the lead singer. However, we start to see her unravel just because Heather did some research and turned out that the story she keeps telling people of both her parents dying in like a plane crash came from like a book of a novel. But the girl is twisted in the head. She literally cuts out Heather's head in pictures and then she puts her own face in the picture and stuff. Like she is literally crazy like Mona from Pretty Little Liars. And so like we start to see her unravel a bit more when she's with the sorority girls. They have this thing that when one of them gets laid, they have a bunch of candles, and then the girl gets laid, blows out the candle. She decides she's gonna blow out the candle and ruin that girl's moment because she doesn't like when other people have things that she doesn't, and she gets extremely jealous. Anyways, when she gets confronted by Heather again, Heather tells her, I know what's up. She's all like, you're lying. Everybody's always lying to me. And then she has a complete freak out when she forgets the lyrics to the song because she's having a bunch of crazy flashbacks. Then when she gets disqualified, she has a nervous breakdown in the back of the stage where her mom holding and cradling her. As the band has welcomed back Heather and this one guy, and they win like the competition. Like I said before, the ending is very rushed and it's very weak. If it would have been theatrical and they had the censors been okay with it, it would have been a heck of a lot more intense, similar to that of Orphan. But yeah, other than that, this was a pretty cool movie and stuff. And it's one of those old movies that some people tend to forget. I know I forgot the name of it for so many years. It took me a while to research it and stuff. Now, if only I could think of the one with Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I had to do some research online. But the length this one girl would go to just to get revenge and to prove that she's better. Because the thing is, she hates Heather's life. She feels Heather has a better life than her. Her and her mom live in a trailer. She never can win a competition. She, couldn't go on to be famous. But she was able to get into college and stuff. But, jealousy runs very thick in her veins. And even her mom's a little cuckoo in the head and stuff, believing that her daughter's perfect and that those other girls cheat and stuff. This could have made for a very interesting, psychological, thriller, drama type series nowadays. And, they do make a lot of television shows and movies similar to this and stuff. And it would just be insane, really cool if they could make a new television show or something similar to this, but actually go there, actually make it edgy and stuff. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.